How should players respond to Texans owner Bob McNair referring to them as inmates?
You saw Mina shaking her head on this. This was a pretty imperfect time for him to do so at a meeting. This is reporting by Seth Wickersham and Don Van Natta. They're about as good reporters as we have at this entire company. And they got into that meeting, and Bob McNair used the wrong terminology. Troy Vincent, representative for the player, a former player, objected to it when he said it. Now, I hope he meant inmates running the asylum. He apologized to Troy Vincent immediately afterward in a way that Troy Vincent took that and said, okay, I got genuine contrition from that. But you can't use that word because it's racially coded, and you get the reminder of this guy feeling like a warden overrunning a prison when what he's running is a sports league with his partners.
So many years ago, Gene Upshaw, the former head of the Players Union, said that in 1987, Tex Schramm, the former owner of the Cowboys, told him, the players are cattle, the owners are ranchers, and we could always get more cattle. Now, if I'm a player, I'm looking at this quote from McNair, and I'm thinking over the last 30 years, very little has changed. I'm also thinking that this is terrible for business. We talk a lot about how these protests could be bad for ratings and ticket sales, but we don't spend enough time talking about the fact that what these owners are doing could also be terrible for those things and alienating fans. Maybe it's time for some of them to take responsibility for what's happening in the NFL.
One of the interesting parts of the reporting in this is Roger Goodell was put in a much more favorable light than we've seen him, actually leading the charge of the players toward men like this, explaining to them, hey, you guys got to listen better because running prison is not listening the right way.
In the same story, Washington owner Dan Snyder also said that 96% of people want the players to stand. 96% of people don't agree on anything. 96% of people don't believe the earth is round.
Yeah.
You can't just make up numbers, Dan Snyder.
I mean, when you're Dan Snyder, you can kind of make up numbers, right? How many people are actually checking you on the numbers?
I remember my time in prison. You know, I ran that young. You know, nobody
Yeah,
around with
yeah,
me.
nobody did.
No,
he was.
Yeah,
he was.
right.
He was. He ran the yard, the weightlifting area. My father ran that yard. Yeah.
What was that even too?
Yeah. I don't know what.
Right, buddy.
I don't know what that was there. I don't know what that was. Did he with a wire? Was that a wire or was that two knives? I don't know.
That was the guillotine.
It was the guillotine. He smuggled the guillotine into prison.